Hi, my name is DocFusion, or Owen sometimes, and I'm here to tell you my 100 days journey. Now, I'm doing Sky Factory, which, if you don't know, mostly for you Sunday fans out there who already know, it is essentially SKYBLOCK, but with tons of mods added, so you can start with just a tree and literally nothing else. So, will I be able to survive 100 days with nothing but my own thoughts in this tree? Well, I guess you're about to find out. Now, while I create the world, I'm going to give some insight. First of all, this video is not scripted. I know most 100 days are, but I like to be a little weird with it, so we're just going to go ahead and not script it, and totally not because I'm lazy or anything. But anyway, if you didn't know, Sky Factory is a mod pack based on SKYBLOCK. It gives you just a tree and a dirt block with a ton of mods to make you able to progress. Now first, a very important item to craft is a crook. Now this crook gives an increased chance of getting saplings, and as you can see, I just got one. So, very good to start off. This is the safest way to get saplings. Also, very fun way to grow the saplings. You twerk. If you've seen Sunday, you understand. Funny joke, haha funny. So, yeah, essentially for the first day, which I am counting day 0 as a day. It seems like most people kind of forget about it. But I like to make sure that it's all inclusive. It doesn't change the 100 days format. All it does is give you guys some extra content, which I think is a good trade-off. But anyway, it's very important to remember that trees are one of single-handedly the most valuable items, at least in the early game. Because the more woods you have in the beginning, the more success you'll have later, which honestly is probably the same for life. I can then use the wood to make some tools and make a wooden AIoT or a TOIT, all tools in one. I also made a compressed crook, which is just a crook but stronger. I wish everything else could just be made stronger, but unfortunately, it can't be. I am using Vein Miner too, which allows me to instantly mine things that are similar. And then I also have some wood armor, which, no iron, so we're going to go very basic with this. And now we're here on day 1, officially, I guess, is what you want to call this. I started by crafting some barrels. Barrels, again, very important item, because you're probably wondering, how do you get dirt? Well, I'm going to teach you, and it's through the power of remembering what you do on Earth Day, which is making barrels, which then you drop saplings into, and as you can see in the little top there for a split second, it's composting to make dirt. So hopefully you paid attention in 3rd grade on Earth Day because, again, very important here. And then on the nighttime of day 1, I went sprinting around the trees, which is another way to grow them faster, is if you start sprinting, it doesn't have to just be twerking. They're very inclusive of the Christian demographic that will be playing this mod pack, and realized that twerking was too sinful, so they added cardio exercise as another way to grow plants. And as you just saw there, I was infesting my tree with silkworms, which the tree is now white. So silkworms will give you some white trees that you can then break with a crook for string. This is how you get string, this is how you start making a lot of the big stuff. And using this string, can now make a very crucial item, which would be a sieve. Sieve, again, I know I keep saying it a lot, but this is the first big step. I know it's weird to have 5 first big steps, but trust me, it's a big step. The sieve, you'll want to have 25 of them specifically for what I'm planning to do. Once you have them set like this, you use the string to make some meshes, and you just slippity slap that on in there. And if you're worried about string, don't worry, the trees produce a lot. I then made an achievement book stand. So the achievement book it's not my goal for this series, or I guess not series for this video, but it is a side thing that I'll be doing, and if we hit 200 days, maybe it will be my goal to complete this whole book, but for now, I'm just going to make a little stand, put it off to the side, and go ahead and check off some things we've done already, such as use a crook on leaves to get sapling silkworm, twerk a sapling, make dirt by composting, remember 3rd grade, and infest leaves with silkworm to get some string. I also then use the string to make a bed, so finally, in this barren wasteland, I can take a nap. And if I just slap some dirt in there, you will see I have the power of God. Not really. But essentially I can sieve dirt to get small stones, seeds, stuff like that. But the stones are important because like that, as you can see on your screen, you can then use them to craft cobblestone. And as you know, if we use trees to make dirt, and then we use dirt to make cobblestone, we essentially have unlimited cobblestone. It just takes a while. You can then hammer down the cobblestone into gravel. And here on day 4, I was just doing a bunch of tree stuff. Day 5, yeah, it's just more tree stuff because, you know, it's very important. But on day 7, sorry, there's no day 6. We just jump straight into it. We have a crucible. Now this crucible, you chuck some cobblestones into it like you just showed me. And boom, you make lava. Melt it down. And on day 8, I have a cobblestone generator. I know it seems like I skipped over a lot. Essentially, I just made it a block. And now it just dumps in that chest. So, a little more island expansion later on day 9. And here I am breaking some gravel. So gravel, once hammered down, becomes sand. And the sand, when hammered down, becomes dust. All of these items can be sieved and are very important. Just here, I'm sieving some compressed sand, which has a higher chance to drop things. I'm also sieving through an iron stiffened mesh, which I can get iron this way. I just didn't show it. But yeah, I'm doing this to get redstone. Redstone is what really matters here. Cut to day 11. I am now below my island, building out a huge cobblestone platform. I will use this for something, but for right now, it's just kind of an expansive land. And as I was sieving some gravel, I got really excited because I found some diamonds. Very excited. I should hit my mic. Very exciting. Because diamonds, even in this world, I would say even more in this world, are very valuable. As you can see, I was very excited. Because diamonds, there's no ores in mine. And I eventually set this up too, which is something that I don't see a lot of Sky Factory people use, but that's my way to get automatic dirt. And then on the evening of day 13, I began work on a mob farm. Now this is a classic mob farm design that you've probably seen 1,000 times, but it's very effective in Sky Factory. I also tried to pull some fancy maneuvers, and yeah, it didn't work out too well. Let's just skip past that. As we've learned, I'm reckless, but it's okay because I made a mob farm that totally won't break. totally won't. Yeah, right? Right, won't break. Anyway, so in this mob farm, there are some spikes there, as you can see there. So what the spikes do is when something lands on them, it lowers them to exactly half a heart. So just one punch and they're dead. Insert joke about anime. Alright, so, and then on the evening of day 14, I began work on expanding my platform. Now, expansion is very crucial here, but this time I have a very specific function for this platform in mind. And you'll see it here. I now have this huge expanse of land, and if you couldn't tell by where the dirt is placed, it is a tree farm. This whole massive platform will be full of wood, so I'm slowly rebuilding the earth that has since been lost in this fictional reality we're making up. Something to note is that when composting, it takes 8 saplings to make a full dirt block. It also takes 8 leaves to do that. So, as you can see, I crafted up a bunch of stone shears, and I went ahead and went to town on those leaves. You can also hammer away at trees to get some wood chippings, and fun fact, the wood chippings also only need 8 to make a full dirt block. So, essentially, if we use a hammer and shears, we could be making stacks on stacks of dirt. And on day 17, I am fully planning it out. Day 18 is more just expanding the mob farm, and as you can see, I have made it so Endermen will spawn and just teleport out. That's only because I'll need Ender Pearls, and this is just the easiest way to get it for now, so it's okay. And then decided we should do some Sunday fan service. So on day 19, I made the classic meat poll. Hashtag meat polls, hashtag sadcraner, hashtag this is a joke when hashtags were actually funny. Please save me, hashtag soon. You get it? Because it's like a meat. Anyway, day 20 was just tree chopping. Because this thing takes a long time to mow down the entire thing. But like I said, wood is very important. Especially in abundance. Take a sip of apple juice, as you do. I then, on day 21, just kind of sat there in the rain. Not sure why. Just kind of pondering stuff. It's a pretty sunset. Man, I wish I lived in Minecraft. And then, on this glorious evening, I then created an automatic lava farm. So if I put fire with netherrack, which you'll see how I make it later, you can really speed up your crucible. You also, as seen here, by using seeds you get from sieving dirt, can get grass seeds. And also by using a watering can that will be used later, trust me, you can then use it to spread the grass even faster than it would before. This is how you get grass, because grass won't normally spawn, and don't worry, we'll have animals there soon. Day 24, just like before, it's more tree gathering. It's Sky Factory. You need a lot of trees. I don't have any other excuse. There's like a solid, I'd say 10 days, probably more, of just tree gathering. But don't worry, I won't be spending too much time on this. I then triggered an Enderman because I thought it would be funny. And it was funny. Now I have his pearls. Also, animals. Yay! Don't you just love the environment? I decided it was finally time to get mauled by slimes. That was just my dream. And don't mind their googly eyes. It's their life choice. And you know what? They can stick with it. I would say these slimes would go away, but hate to tell you, this is a common occurrence for the rest of the video. I then expanded the lava farm to be even more automatic by adding some fluid transfer nodes, so it spit out all that hot, juicy liquid straight into a tank. On day 27, I'm just hammering away some more rocks. You know me, this ain't the lifestyle that I want, but it's the one that I've chosen. I also made a sink. And I sieved some dust to get some more luscious ores and redstone, because you can never have enough. The sieving will consume you. One I Am Groot reference later, and now we have seared bricks. Now seared bricks, very important in the Tinker's mod, which allows you to make a smeltery. And all of these several complex blocks that I'm making do in fact have a purpose, and they will be put to good use very shortly. I then hopped on down and decided this is where my smeltery must go. Now the way a smeltery works, you can just chuck your ores in there. So for example, if I top some gold ore chunks from the sieving that I've done before, it'll smelt that up with the lava I dumped in there, cut a little bit later, and then you got yourself some gold. Right there, molten gold, 2 blocks and 4 ingots. Each chunk gets doubled in the amount of ore that it'll put out. So, once I just pour it around this ingot here, it will destroy the ingot, but I now have a cast for unlimited more ingots. So, gold is very useful in this sense. For once, it's actually useful. And the way the smeltery works is that the more seared bricks you put on top of it, the more things you can smelt at once. So essentially, since you can get seared bricks by melting cobblestone in this thing, we've just got to keep building. And isn't that the human way? I think so. And boom, you can use the basins to also make blocks of ores instantly. So, yeah, I'd say this is a good investment. Thanks, Mom, for not seeing this until now. I also decided to put some iron in there, because who doesn't want more iron? I mean, we remember from the Industrial Revolution that more metal just means more good things for everyone else. I also decided to add in a little staircase of slabs here. This isn't for anything technical, it's more just so I have a way to easily get up and add on to this. As you can see here, just craft up some seared bricks, and then slap it on top in the same formation. Now we've just added 9 more items that can be smelted with each level. So, yeah, I'm very proud of this. With 30 days behind me, I decided to keep progressing, and the next obvious solution to this was to begin work on this. Now, it's not too functional right now, and this is in its final form, but what I've just done is automated hammering and sieving. That's a lava generator right there, and by hooking up my lava systems to there, which we have unlimited of, by the way, we now have unlimited power, and thus unlimited ores and resources that will be gathered for us just by sitting around doing nothing. So, you know what they say, if you don't want to do it, outsource it. Again, is that not the American dream? See, already 2 diamonds instantly. We are on day 33, and we already have unlimited diamonds. All we gotta do is sit around and enjoy life. And just like with the tree farm, I had another twisted idea that involves a massive platform. And you know what that means? More wood gathering! But I promise this one is very useful. It ain't easy work being suspended over millions and millions of miles of emptiness, but someone's gotta do it, and I guess that person, being I'm the only one here, gotta be me. You know what I'm saying? And with this placement of dirt, you can finally see what we're making. We're doing just your classic farm. I felt, I don't want to keep eating apple juice for the rest of my life. I'd love some good filling bread, and this seemed like a good way to do it. There's also some other useful items you can get from farming that we'll touch on a little bit later, but for now, we're just going to stick with your classic wheat. Still expanding the farm on day 34. Working all through the night just to keep this platform going. But don't worry, I promise in the end, it'll all be worth it. Which I think is the theme of this video. So, yeah, just stick with me. I then decided to do a bit of decoration, add a nice, cakey, creamy tip to my meat poles. Wait, what do you think it means? What? What? Ew, that's disgusting! No, I mean just cake. That's cake. You're all sick. As you can see, I have upgraded my auto material farms. Now, like I said, this isn't its final form. As of now, all it does is turn cobblestone into gravel, sieve the gravel, while also putting some gravel into a sand compressor, and then turning that sand into dust. I'll add some other sieves later, but as for now, that's all I really got. But in the meantime, who doesn't love some more iron? I mean, come on. We know what you want to see. It's me pouring iron. Die. Skipping over day 37, on day 38, I had the genius idea to create SNAD, the most powerful block in Minecraft. You just don't understand. You don't understand the power that this 1 cubic meter of grit has within it. I placed down the SNAD confidently on my lower platform in a very meticulous pattern known to many as the sugarcane formation. It was then that I poured my flowing water through this hole, ready to grow the greatest of sugar. And this SNAD would be the driving force behind it. Not the water, not the light, but it was the SNAD all along that pushed forth its economic and vertical growth. You will never comprehend the power that SNAD has as I rummage for sugarcane seed that I got from sieving dirt all but 20-ish days ago. I confidently ride my elevator down, and I plant the seeds valiantly, waiting for the SNAD to do its thing. I just made a bunch of bone meal. If we just have unlimited bones now, I might as well get some bone meal. And figured, I could really go for some of the Rock's French toast right now. So, I decided to go and get that sweet, sweet wheat going. But, fastest way, obviously, bone meal. Because, you know me, I'm an American. I'm impatient. So, obviously, my only answer to this is performance-enhancing drugs. I'm sorry. It's different for plants. It's okay if they use it. Plus, there's no law enforcement in this guy. So technically, as long as no one snitches, we're good. I then left to check on my animal farm, to check now that it's been automated with iron spikes, which auto kills them. And as you can see, I have tons of loot. Literal, all these boxes are just stuffed to the brim, like your mom. I then grabbed some sand, unfortunately not snad, because why would I waste such a valuable item? And I used the sand, worthless, to create some glass for some very important projects I'll have later. But in the meantime, let's get to brewing. I made some witch water in these barrels here. Now, witch water isn't used for much. All it really is making soul sand, but it's somewhat important. As you can see, just combine some sand, day 41, make some soul sand. On promise, all I'm really using this for is just quartz, which you get by sieving said soul sand in a flint or iron stiffened mesh. I also decided to create this little reactor thing, which if I blast some quartz with it, it then changes it molecularly. Yay, science. I love science. If only science was this easy. As you can see, I'm working on creating something called an empowerer. To that, I need a couple more display stands. And I promise this does have a use, which I've actually never seen any other people, especially Sunday, who is the main Sky Factory person, I guess. They've never done this before, and I've always found that very interesting because this has so many valuable uses. I then tried to triumphantly craft my empowerer, until I realized it's not how it works, and I got really sad, and I cried. But eventually, I figured out, oh, the only answer to a problem such as this is rituals, so I decided to make a very satanic-looking structure. But it's okay, I promise it's for a good use. And if I put a block there of void crystals, which you get from using the laser on coal, add some specific items in these spots, and then you start the ritual. I know it's not technically a ritual, but who cares? It looks satanic. And after a little bit, you then have yourself an empowered void crystal block. Now, while this item may sound mystical and powerful, I have a very revealing thing to tell you. It's just for storage. It makes storage better. I also then used this inferium I got from my mob farm to create inferium seeds. Now, when I said that farming is very important, this is what I meant. Inferium is part of a mod called Mystical Agriculture. So Mystical Agriculture is focused all around Inferium, and upgrading Inferium, watering plants, until it gets to the point where you can grow most anything. I then spend most of day 46 just watering plants. I sped up the footage here because it takes so long. Please, mod developers, fix this. It took all that time just to get one. Please, make it easier. I also began work right underneath my lava farm on, as I mentioned earlier, the expanded automatic farm. Now, as you saw with that very small scale one, we were getting a couple diamonds every hour maybe. This, with what I have planned in store, double that, triple that, maybe even quadruple that. That is just single-handedly how powerful and efficient this design will be. After lighting it up, we finally have my very beautiful platform here. As you can see, I made work with the chisel to make it look all nice and pretty and almost Germany with those tiles. But don't I love it? I hit my mic. I then started to pack up all my generators for the slight move downstairs. But it's okay, they'll still get use, but they'll be much, much better down there, where I don't have to see the riffraff. But with how many auto sieves, auto hammers, pipes, yada 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 I have planned, it's gonna take a lot of resources, mainly being iron. I mean, one of these things just takes 2 iron blocks all by itself, so we're gonna need a lot of it. But luckily for me, these farms also create iron, so it balances out. And as you can see here, I begin setting it up. And while this does look very bare bones, know that is exactly what it is. It's bare bones. We're getting ready to add the flesh to this machinery skeleton. I then add some pipes down from my lava farm with my generators right there, ready to hook up and start powering the machines, which, to be fair, they're not all ready yet, but who cares? It always helps to be prepared. As you can see, I'm already planning out to upgrade these generators, which takes a lot of materials. You can see just how many menus I scroll through to figure out what I need. I then use these things called power conduits to drag out energy from the lava generators. Now before, I just had the machines on them, but obviously they'd be pretty expensive to give each machine its own generator. But by using these pipes I get, I can just hook them all up like batteries and wires, and you know what? It's all very technical. You wouldn't understand. Ask your dad who left for cigarettes. He probably knows how to do this stuff. He just knows how to do everything. So pretty much all of day 51 was spent wiring stuff up and making it all fully functional and prepared for the big day when I pull that final switch. So please, enjoy this intricate clip of me wiring machines. I know it's very riveting. Excellent. Thank you, Avant-Garde. I then decide to upgrade my cobblestone generator. Now you can do this a few times, but right now we're keeping it diamond level since what I got. So in the evening of day 52, I slapped this on down, and the whole system was complete. Well, for now, it upgrades over time because I realize how slow it is, but we don't need to talk about that right now. We'll save that for a later day. And on day 53, I finally have the finished parts set up. Essentially what happens is the ores get crushed down, and each of those individual parts get smelted into tons of ingots. But we'll get to those later. Right now I'm crafting dirt seeds. That's right, I used the dirt to create the dirt. That's like a reference. You ever seen Avengers Endgame? Oh, such a good movie. Oh, you'd love to see it. You'd probably love it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We're focusing on magic right now, which is important. So as you can see, I've upgraded my essence, and you do this with a little infusion crystal, but you know, thanks to the mob farm, I have tons of inferium just laying around at this point. So by using the crystal, I can upgrade it to, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, but please leave in the comments how you pronounce it, because I can totally tell how you pronounce it through a typed comment, right? That's how it works. And as you can see, for the future, I have big plans on things you can grow. But for now, we're stuck with our pitiful little dirt seeds. But it's okay, because that dirt will become diamonds one day. So, on day 62, I just sat there, growing. Ooh, iron seeds. Yeah, I started planting iron. And I also have some wood seeds, which grows trees, which, yeah, I know sounds kind of pathetic since I have that massive tree farm, but I don't care. I will find any way to gather wood without chopping, I say, after spending 5 days just building a tree farm. But it's okay, because in the end, isn't watering just so much more fun? Do you see how enjoyable this gameplay is? Don't you want to just leave a like and subscribe and leave a comment below on how farming is your favorite activity? I know I sure do. I'm FarmBoy64. And I now have everything hooked up. And as you can see right there, 33 diamonds, 15 emeralds. Look at this absolute bursting box. Also, you can give some food to your sievers to make them go faster, which is a very fun tip because, you know, you got to keep your slaves well fed. I mean, what? Never mind. Anyway, so this thing's coming along great, and this whole thing is already putting out way more than your mom ever did. And I finally decided on day 63 to get myself an enchanting table, which I then immediately started enchanting sieves and hammers. Because if I enchant these meshes, as I said, then they can get things like efficiency and fortune, which very useful since all of the auto sieves need their own mesh. Also, all of the auto hammers can use extra hammers. And now I'm finally creating some electroium. I think that's how you say it. I'm very bad at this, plates, which can then be used to craft more lava generators, which, as you can see, I have already done. But don't get too attached to them because I am essentially immediately going to be trashing them for a better one. But it's okay, because just like the goldfish that you neglected more than your parents neglected you as a child, we're just gonna switch and replace them right now with something way better. A Mark II lava generator. And you see how beautiful it is? You know it's different, because now it's laying on its side. It also is already putting in work, producing so much energy. I mean, look at that bar. It's moving so fast. I then, by using lava and redstone, as I do it quite fast on day 66, create some netherrack. This is so I can expand my lava farm and really just maximize the output of energy I have into my machines. Because if I want tons and tons of diamonds, I'm going to need tons and tons of lava, I need tons and tons of redstone, I need tons and tons of everything. And as you can see, I finally have it fully set up. And doesn't she just look beautiful? Oh, I love it. It's gorgeous. And just look at that luscious loot. All those ingots. And all I had to do was sit around and do nothing. So now I can create a cauldron because I'm already going to try and make this lava farm faster, since it seems like the only thing I try to do here is I make something really intricate and cool and then immediately trash it for something better, including this vat. So the vat is going to help me create some stuff. And not to sound racist, but we're going to be making fire water. But in order to do that, first we got to become Walter White. And that means making hooch. So on day 69, I decided to start pouring that sweet, sweet mouth-cleansing white stuff. We can then use that to create some fire water. But first I just have to gather it all into a little tank and then spit it all in. And eventually I have now replaced all the netherrack I just took so long making with fire water, which greatly increases the speed at which cobblestone cooks in these things. See, 8 times and 7 times. Depends on where the source is, but yeah, very good. And as you can see, my systems are overflowing. Just to show how frickin' solid and amazing this system is, my crafters can't even keep up. Like your mom. And on day 70, I'm going in to add in some enchanted hammers, which, as you can see, greatly increase efficiency depending on which enchantments you got. I think finally we're getting to a point where my systems aren't too backed up, but you know, there obviously is still a lot of space taken up by these items. Day 71, more rituals. Felt necessary. Felt like a satanic day. This is mostly just so I can improve my storage situation and stop the overflowing from happening. So, yeah, just a full day of going against religion. And on day 72, as you'll see by this item, I have a new idea of something I want to do with this mob farm. By setting up a couple blocks, a couple pipes, and eventually later some lava farms, we will have ourselves a fully automatic loot bag opener. Now the loot bags I'll get into here in just a little bit, but enjoy some me not knowing where to put things. I also decided to cook some more crucibles for said lava farm that will be down there. So while this is smelting, I'll give a little introduction on loot bags. So loot bags drop from mobs occasionally, and just like actual loot boxes in, you know, the greatest game of all time, Fortnite, obviously, it's just amazing. You can get random good items out of it, depending on what kind it is. So, by adding my little lava farm here, hooking it up to a generator, I can then automate all the bags that I'm getting to be compressed eventually into a legendary loot bag, and then automatically opened. Because the nature of this mod pack literally is, what can I do to stop doing things? Which, that's just beautiful, don't you think? And day 75 was just spent farming. So, yeah, this is that. And then even on day 76 and day 77 was more farming, believe it or not. This thing takes freaking forever. You can make things like growth crystals, but I don't have that talent right now. So on day 78, I decided to go back to this little plot of grass I made purely for flower farming. Now, dyes, I don't really need dyes a ton, but for what I want to create, I do need 4. So, yeah. And finally, I have all those 4 dyes, made some clusters, and now we have dye seeds. So, these rainbow RGB seeds will be used to create any dye I want. But we're just going to grow some more Inferium, because why not? There's nothing better to do, right? Day 79, just great. And then I finally decided we should do a little more tributes to Sunday. So I created the milk jar. If you've seen his Sky Factory series, you know exactly what this is. So on day 80, I lured a cow over, trapped it on top of the jar by luring it in with some luscious wheat that it just couldn't resist. And after trapping it in, I decided to look away PETA, and I dropped an anvil on its head. Please don't hate me. Please. Anyway, though, I decided to do what every Redditor does and shoved a thing in a jar to then fill with liquid. Because that's how I roll. So now we have a cow in a jar. They'll just keep producing milk 24/7. But in the meantime, more farming! Yay! Day 81! I love farming so much. Don't you? Yeah, as you can see, as I mentioned earlier, this dye essence, depending on what order you put it in, you can get any dye, so no squids have to be murdered and no more flowers have to be picked. Truly, this is the state of peace that I am at. And then, not too long later, I now have a slice and splice. Don't worry, it will never be used again, and the only thing it's going to be used for is something that's absolutely useless. So it's okay. Again, day well spent. And day 83, I installed my farming station, which is what I needed the slice and splice for. This thing should, air quotes, should, be auto-farming all of my seeds. But as you'll see in later days, this does not work. I have given it storage, I have given it power, I have given it everything it could ever need, and it's just not working. I think a couple essence get harvested, but just nothing more. Cut to day 86, I now have chickens. Don't ask why that one looks like a tree and that one is made of gravel. Don't ask questions. These chickens are very important because if you breed a sand chicken with a red chicken, for example here, you can get a redstone chicken. Now, just like the loot before from sieving, you can get tons of resources, probably everyone in the game, just from these chickens and what they lay. I once again choose the dangerous lifestyle and do some unnecessary parkour. Then got juked by a slime and instantly died. Yeah, I'm not proud of it either, but thanks to the gravestone mod, just right before day 87 on the sunrise, I can grab my stuff. After pondering my stupidity for a second, I geared up and took said revenge. And then finally decided to harvest my meat poles because I felt they have been aching and aging for too long and they needed a good replacing. I mean, that's what they say, right? You know, your meat gets old and you want to make sure you swap it out every few weeks. I mean, that's what I keep hearing online, but like, I don't know if that's true or not. But hey, you know what? Monster jerky, you never hurt. And then I spent the next few days just kind of sitting there. So this is a time-lapse of me looking at a crafting station, pondering what on earth I'm going to do. Of course, in doing so, I wasted a fair bit of time just sitting there. But you know, it's beautiful because it shows not every day has to be exciting or full of work. it can just be a calm day of being lazy. Until eventually I snapped out of it and got back. And then I stayed in the pause menu for exactly the same amount of time. So here I am on day 90, 10 days left before I want to fight the Ender Dragon, which, of course, I'm fighting the Ender Dragon. It's 100 days. What else am I going to do? And I'm still trying to work on this useless farming station that's never going to work. Trust me, I'm sure I'm probably doing something wrong, because as we've addressed before, not just in this video, but just in general, I'm a moron. So I'm probably doing something wrong. But it doesn't matter, because I think after this day, I just decide to give up. I even realize at this point, it's not worth all my effort. I got a dragon to slay. I gotta get prepared for the fight. And part of that preparation is right here, with the conductive iron jetpack. Now, again, seen Sunday series, you'll know what this is. After charging it up real quick, I can equip it to my chest plate, much like an elytra. And then, one final glance at my landscape, and I realize it's time. The time we've all been waiting for. I look towards the empty void below me, and take the step off. And now I can fly, while also killing the non-existent environment. Yay! Don't we all just love killing the environment? Forget all the stuff I said about Earth Day and protecting the world like 50 days ago. And here I am breeding more chickens, because once you breed them, you have a chance to get a different kind of chicken. For example, a coal chicken, which still will be producing coal slower than my machines, but it's okay. It's okay. I'm fine. And on day 92, I finally realized that I should probably go to the Nether. Granted, to get to the Ender Dragon, you actually don't need to do that, but I decided it's probably worth it anyway. So, I also decided to create some diamond armor from the, 5 stacks of diamonds I had lying around, as you do, and geared up and went to the Nether. But as you'll quick see, this is not your ordinary Nether. On day 93, I brought some blocks because this is a sky factory Nether. There's no ground. And if it's this bad, just imagine what the end's going to be like. Nightmarish. And after creating a little platform of safety, I then spot a Nether fortress off in the distance and decide to use my jetpack, take a little jaunt over there and see what's going on. And of course, I'm immediately struck from the sky by some enemy attackers. And of course, I get shot down, have to land there to recruit, and then I'm instantly mobbed by all of my dissidents, and all I can do is run in terror and hope that they can't climb walls. Don't worry, they can't. So, everything's peachy keen here in hell. Which is a phrase no one's ever said. While on fire, I then spot a new chicken. Now, as you'll know me, I love chickens. Chickens are my life. Which, a new chicken, the possibilities of the soul sand chicken. Amazing. After a successful raid in a building I do not own, nor do I care to come back, however I will inevitably return here at some point in the future, I fly on back to my portal to hoard my loot in my non-existent base because there's no Earth, so why would I need to create a base when I'm the only one there? Think smarter, not harder, kids. And on day 94, it's more chicken breeding, because why would you do anything else? Especially when you get an iron chicken out of it. This little guy, honestly doesn't matter. Again, my machines are faster than nature, so who cares? And then I'm back to the Nether on day 94. I told you I'd be back, but just a lot faster than I hoped to be. Now you could say, oh, he's here to get blaze rod so he can go to the end. No, not really. I'm going to be completely honest. I'm here for a chicken. And then I found it. It's another quartz chicken. Guess what it lays? I'll give you 3 seconds to guess. 1, 2, 3. You're wrong, it was Subway footlongs. And as you can see here, I had big aspirations for my chicken breeding, hoping to get a diamond chicken. But as you can tell as I'm scrolling through menus, that takes a long time, and I eventually do end up abandoning this idea. But what an idea to think of. However, I won't let go of the idea for at least 5 days, so hang in for that. Now, by breeding a yellow chicken and an iron chicken, you actually have the chance to get a gold chicken. I don't get it here, obviously, because I have the worst luck known to man, but, you know, I'll still be trying this later in the future. Until, eventually, I bred them, and the gold chicken was born. And I had the exact same reaction my parents had when they first saw me. Ew. After expertly showing I definitely know how to craft a cake in Minecraft, I then began the next step into reaching the end. And it's gonna look a little weird. The end cake. Now, as you may notice, there's no world here. Therefore, no strongholds. So, how do you get the end, you may ask? Well, it's simple. Confectionery sugar! Yeah, by feeding this thing Eyes of Ender, you grow the cake, and when you take a slice, you'll hop into the end. But first we gotta make netherrack for something that does not matter at all. I promise you. Day 98, and I'm wasting time. Because that's just how I roll. Wait to the last minute to actually do something. I crushed it up and started sieving it, and essentially my goal here was to get the materials to make manolin, which when used in tinkers to make weapons is very, very strong. But I never realized how rare this item would be, so that's time wasted. I do end up using tinkers to make a weapon. I make a cleaver, but I don't make it out of manolin because, again, very expensive. Maybe in 200 days, which may or may not happen. So yeah, I make a paper cleaver though. And you're probably wondering, why would I use paper? Well, that's because paper cuts are the worst pain known to man. But by making it paper, it allows me to add more modifiers. But of course, I may or may not know what all of those modifiers are. I just know that they exist. Like this one. I'm like, oh, what does a diamond add? It adds diamond. Very descriptive game. Thank you, Tinker's Construct. We love you. I then proceed to pause the game and look up actual help on what I can use to modify my weapon. After about 20 minutes of research, I finally get some help and learn that nether quartz, which I got from sieving soul stand, can add sharpness to mine and increase its damage output. I also learned that by adding redstone, I increase the haste. Or for a weapon like this, it increases the amount of times I can attack in a certain amount of time. So, again, very useful. And just for good measure, I decided to add some diamond. After wrapping up this day 99 by learning that I can't add any more modifiers because I don't have it leveled up anymore, I know that it's time. First, I fuel my jetpack. I then say a quick hello to my chickens, gathering up their feces, and end by grabbing some enchanted golden apples to assist me on my quest. I approach the end cake and take a bite. Here I am in a sky factory end. As you can see, there's nothing. There's a dragon, some pillars. Yeah, that's why I have the jetpack. That's why it's very important to have for this boss fight. Which a lot of it will be fully intact and not cut out because I want to show as much of this as possible. Especially my expert bow aim. Look at that. Amazing. How does he do it? Oh my gosh, the precision. And then I get knocked around. But that knocking around by the Ender Dragon will happen a lot. After taking out all the free crystals, I then head for the caged ones. However, what I failed to realize was that this is not like modern day Minecraft, where you can just punch through the cages or shoot through them. Because of the way the hitboxes were in this version, you can't reach through it. And as you'll see me try right now, you also can't shoot arrows through the holes. So we have a clear issue here. And the only way to resolve it is to platform up and break it with my fist because I didn't bring a pickaxe. I also get knocked around by the Ender Dragon while I'm doing this, so just more jetpack power wasted. And after doing this for a good few minutes, I sped up the footage for you because it's agonizing to watch. Finally break it, and that's crystal down. Unfortunately for me, there's another one. And the Ender Dragon knocked me away. Great. Finally, all the crystals have been defeated, and the true fight with the Ender Dragon can begin. I take a sip of my Appy Juice, as I have several times in the past. I fly up, ready my bow, and take the shots. I then start shooting from afar, trying to keep my distance. Of course, as we've seen before, I just have the best aim, so this worked out perfectly. And then proceed to take damage from breath, because I hate bad breath. And as you can see here, my jetpack battery is getting quite low. 15% is not a comfortable percentage. Don't worry, it'll only proceed to get worse from here on out. So yeah, I also eat an unnecessary gapple because why not? We watch as the valiant Night Fury soars into the sky, hidden by darkness. Now where did it go? Oh, there it is! The dragon swoops down for one last perch, but we all know how this ends. This fight is easy, even when there's no ground. And the dragon tries to make one last attack before dying a gruesome death. And we did this with only 1% left in our jetpack. So, say it with me, everyone. Not even close. And eventually I get there. That object that I was trying to grab being the dragon heart. Now, obviously, this ain't your vanilla Minecraft. So the Dragon Heart, what it does is helps you with Draconics, which is another mod that's important later. But wanting to save jetpack battery, I decided to just carefully bridge over to the portal, not taking any chances, no speed bridging. I eventually get there, hop down, and we're good. Last battery power was used to land. As you can see on that dragon egg, it says to hatch. Again, 200 days, another mod, we'll get into it later. I consider the portal below me, I ponder everything that I've done, and leap in. I've done it. I've completed Minecraft Sky Factory. I'm going to be talking a lot slower now, not to fill time, of course, that'd just be stupid, but to simply reflect and ponder on all that we have achieved. Now, this has been a true experience. I've never done a 100 days before, and obviously doing one that's not scripted and feels quite rushed in some places feels very odd, but I like to see it as my unique take. It shouldn't just be like every other scripted video, it should be different. And then here at the end, after speeding through the endless text of random messages the mods put in, because who cares, I then come across this. This quote felt very important, so I will now read it aloud to you. 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things that you didn't do than by the ones that you did do. So throw off the bowlines, sail away from the safe harbor, catch the trade winds in your sails, explore, dream, discover. Never stop exploring, never stop creating. Even when faced with a vast nothingness, you somehow manage to find the everything in all of that. I just think that's beautiful. Don't you? Whoa, hey guys, it's probably catch up here. So, yeah, like I mentioned, that was my very first 100 days video. And here's a little montage I made of some of the stuff I created. And honestly, this was really fun. Very tedious. The actual playing was fun and creating was fun, but the whole editing and stuff was a lot longer than I thought it would be. But I'd totally do it again for another special or maybe an anniversary. But yeah, I'd love to do this again. I love Sky Factory, and I hope you do too. Ever since I saw Sunday play it, and I've just been obsessed with this mod pack for years, I finally got a chance to really play it and make some real accomplishments in it. And I'm really proud of all this. So, thank you all for watching, and see you later.